querying part, right? This is one of the biggest beauty of this platform, where you can go to the data and live query. Now, this is more like a live query, right? So you are going to the data storage, but you have plenty of data here, right? You want to know how the pattern of the data, how the data has changing over the period, right? The temperature. Let's take, we are more focused towards temperature monitoring, right? So this temperature, how the climate is variation is happening. So now go to the search option. In the search option, you can choose all your devices, or you can choose any one of the devices that you want to see that. If I choose the only one device, because that's only one data that we send, we may not see the entire performance of that. So let me select all of them right now, for the sake of showing the demo. Right now, I select the last 30 days. What key that I wanted to search it, right? You may send a lot of parameters as part of your device data, right? If you go here, so here you are sending temperature, humidity, battery level, right? Your device battery level, and other parameters also sending. So this function, you can search any parameters. So I'm basically, for demo purpose, I'm selecting temperature, but you can search any key value pairs here to understand that. Now query this. That brings you a graphical view of how the data has variance over the last 30 days on across all warehouses, and you can also see the data in the bottom on how the data has been, the actual data values. Now here the calculation is happening behind the scenes. Now the process is bringing you the average, minimum, minimum, maximum, and average value. You want to remove average, you don't want to see the minimum, you want to see only minimum, maximum, or you want to see the minimum value temperature maintained, or the maximum temperature maintained, right? So all different parameters you can see that, or you don't want to see, you want to just see the average. So all of them you can see that. You can also change to 24 hours, last 24 hours. This is how the variations in the temperature combine together. Now you want to see that, because I think I will show you some of the parameters. This one, I will remove all of the stuff. Okay, so I will show you one particular device. Yeah, this is one particular device. Otherwise, it will be coming like a consolidation of all. So one particular device. This is the variance. Initially, there is not much variance, but later point it has some variance in minimum, maximum temperatures. So like that, your data will be populating in the screen as well as this. So you can query the data and see how the data performing, and your particular data level you can do that. You can also query any key value pairs here. So this is a simple search option for you to analyze your data in the platform itself, regardless of whether you have a separate analytics engine or anything like that. You can still query the data and check the parameters and values and minimum, maximum over the time period. So this is how you can process it within the platform itself. Otherwise, you can see here and you can export it here. If you want to export this data out of this, right? You don't want to export. You don't want to click the export button. You can click the export button and it will create a CSV file for you. It just download the CSV file for you. But if you don't want to export this data and you want to get the data at real time, right? You can go to our API interface. There is a menu item API interface. You click that. It will show you the data storage API, where you can give your authorization keys to create a token, go through the security process, and you can query the data that you want. You can query the data in a specific date interval, or you can query all the data from your devices. So if you run this API, if you call this API, the data, you can extract the data out of Fogwing without going through the console part. So this is the way you need to connect your program to get the data out of Fogwing platform. The API is the only way right now. You are, as a community user, you will be getting that. You also have a other mode of extracting the data. So the other mode of extracting the data or sending the data out of Fogwing is the integration, cloud integration. Let's take, you can extract through API, of course, as we showed, but you can send the data out of Fogwing Cloud to your Azure or other platforms through on request, on the Blob or Azure or Google Cloud, wherever you want to send the data, you can send the data. You can also send the data to your, if you have a MongoDB instances where you want to send it, you can do that. This is right now, this is more like a on request basis. This is not attached with the platform, but we are working on the next releases where it will be coming by default for the enterprise subscribed users. And they can configure their own Azure cloud to push the data to the Azure cloud or AWS or whatever, wherever they want to send it. But right now, if you request us to send it, we will configure in the backend, and then it will be sent to your cloud. So you can do that in both ways. Whether you configure it or we can through API, or we can send it to your cloud. Either way, it is possible. Now, going back to our presentation, considering the time. Okay, so we have gone through the query. The next one is the command. This is one of the finest one in the industrial cases, where you may receive, let's take now in our cases, the cold storage or warehouse climate monitoring, right? Warehouse, suddenly the warehouse, the temperature is rising in the warehouse, right? So we don't want that temperature rising. We wanted to control it. Let's assume that there is a big exhaust fan that you have in your warehouse. Whenever the temperature rises, you need to extract the run the fan to push the hot air out of the warehouse environment. So you wanted to do that, but you don't want to do that always, right? The fan need not run always because you need to save some energy, right? Only when the temperature rises, the fan has to be running. So in this case, you can use the command to trigger your fan on and off. If your fan is attached with a device that can turn the fan on and off, right? So that is a separate device, right? You can configure a separate device as part of our edge network that will receive the data and then turn on the fan. But how do we send that command to the fan, right? To send the fan to the connected device or connected fan to trigger that. That's where we use command. Not only that purpose. If you have edge devices and you wanted to send patches to the or the updates, right, or firmware updates that you wanted to send it to the devices that's live on the field, right? You can still send it through command. You send it as a the firmware location. You send it to your device through command. Command is for both purpose, communicating back to the device rather than only receiving the data from the devices. Now, command, I have already created the command. There are two types of command that you can create it. There are command that you can create it by schedule, right? Every day you want to run the motor, right, at a particular time. Every day you want to run the fan at a particular time. You can run that by a scheduled basis. So you can create a command by schedule. So to create a command, just to choose the environment target device, which you want the device to be receiving the command. In this case, I selected this same warehouse. The device that is sending data, it's also receiving data. That's the assumption here, right? Then it says that now I will say the switch on. I just take it for simple purpose, simplification purpose. I just say that again, this has to be JSON. Then I choose that based on the rule, based on the schedule. What is rule is? You created the data rule, so the data rule is triggering alert. The same data rule can also trigger a command. Means whenever the whenever the temperature exceeding, right? Example, you take the temperature and then you say that okay, whenever my warehouse temperature exceeding 80 degree, I want the fan to be running, right? You can define it as a data-driven command, or you can configure the command as a scheduled command. Either way, you can do that, and then you choose that rule-based command, or you choose a schedule-based one, and then you create it. Right? You configure it, you create it. Okay. So now you created that rule-based. Now you need to attach that in the rule, right? So you need to create a rule for that separately, and the previous rule will not work. That is more of triggering emails, right? You need to create a separate rule for that. To save the time, I already created a configuration command in the MQTT box, which I will be sending right now. So this one is running based on data value 90 degree and above, right? The temperature should be 90 degree and above. Let me show you this. I go back to here, I have the MQTT. Okay, so you see this client program where you have a subscribe part, right? Whenever you send a temperature above 90-degree value, this command will be triggered, correct? Okay, let me see this. Okay, you already have a command here, but I just want to show you that this is 100 degree temperature. I publish it here. Now this published message has to go to the cloud. The process runs, and then it triggers the command. Right? It takes few seconds to get that command triggered. So automatically you can see the second command. This is a previously executed command. Now the second command will appear here in this place. Meanwhile, I will go ahead and walk through other functions that you see in Fogwing. Okay, so apart from command, you have a notification where you can see all the performance. You can also see the notification, that list of notification triggered, either critical warning or critical alert or number of command executed. Right? Let's see the data is received or not. Yeah, data is received now. Let's go back to see here. Not it. The command is not triggered yet. Let's wait and see. Okay, so the notification is there where you can go and see that. You can click on the notification. This is a new release version. So you can see that detail of the notification, which notification sent, at what time, what reason the notification sent. So this is like a history of the alerts triggered by the system. You can also see that the actions that you have created, right? You created a command, you created a data rule, you created a device access, all of them in the audit log screen where you can go and check that. You can also check the health of your device in this platform here in this place, where you see the connected, 3 devices connected, the time it's connected and disconnected, all those parameters here. You can see your device performance also here. So this is more of a device health page where you can see how when the device is connected, when the device is disconnected, and especially disconnected, right? Whenever the device is disconnected, you have all the log here that you wanted to check it. You can click and check that. One more function that I like to share today is if you go to the device level, not only here, you can also go to the device level. We created this device, right? Now you see that the device is the warehouse devices detail view is there, where you can see the device details, the location, the device status, and other things, right? This takes some time to populate. I will show you that in other devices, which is running in a longer time. Yeah, you see here last 7 days, how the device is connected. Now this was disconnected for a few days and then again connected. The last battery level is 52. The last payload size is 7. What was the last day time it received the data? So all of them, and not only that, you can also see the data that received by this from this device, right? You can also see the data here against the devices. So you can go to the device detail view to see the devices. For that, you need to go here, click on the device name, and then it will be loading here. Okay, let me go and check this out again. Yeah, so this is a payload that we received it. 1 second, I'm going to the command and then seeing this notification. Yeah, number of command is triggered 9. Oh, I did select the wrong one. Yeah, this is the one. So now you see the command also increased, the value also increased here. So this is the way the command is getting triggered and the data is coming into that. Other functions quickly run through. You have a support. You can create a support request. Suppose if you are not, feeling something is working, then you can create a support request. Similarly, you can also create a user. If you are a subscribed custom user on this platform, you can create another user. You are considered as a tenant. You can add a user. Go here, put your user information, email ID to whom you want to give access. You can configure the name and you choose whether you want them to be just a viewer to see the platform or you want them to manage the platform. Either way you can give them. You need to give them the username for them to connect with. So once you trigger this send the email notification. and then that person can connect it. Any person, you can give access and they can come and register and then they can use it. And they will be coming under your tenant management. So this is all the functions that you can see that, okay, so more important, if you are not sure what to do where, you have a detailed documentation available. You can go through the documentation pages to run through how to create the IoT Hub access or any connection. So there will be instructions for you to explore it. So all the functions are available here for you to explore and learn and execute your IoT projects or triggering commands and things like that. The command is very important feature that you will be executing to create automation process. You receive the data from the device, you trigger the alert, you trigger a command, so you control the devices, and you can control the devices in a multiple way, right? You can trigger multiple alerts for the same data. You can send the multiple commands. You can create the commands in sequences to execute it. All of them is possible in this platform. Now going back to the dashboard. Now all the devices are connected right now. All the devices are sending data, uh, and data is continuing to receive it. That's on this version 1.6. And we are coming up with the newer versions, newer features. We'll be giving more features in the upcoming releases. Thank you all. Thanks.